Men ain't romantic because mommy and daddy say they can't cry.
Yes.
Y'all will show y'all bros love. Oh, daps up. And
So if I give you some daps up, that gonna substitute for everything you just like. Hey, there you go. Assuming.
that's the problem. Men nowadays ain't want to be
Welcome
men.
to the Healthy Relationship Formula, where through authentic and intimate conversations, we will show you how emotional intelligence plus joint behavior change equals romantic prosperity.
Ew.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm pretty good, and yourself?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about how men ain't romantic nowadays.
Starting hot off the press, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
So, as a man, what's the reason?
I mean, we do stuff. We go on dates.
How many times do you get up and you say, let's go on a date, versus me saying, I want to go on a date? I tell you the other day, I wanted to go to the well. Up to yet. What? Exactly. I find like, I don't know what it is, and maybe, that's just like the nature of things today. But I just find like men ain't doing the whole romance thing. And maybe as a woman, it's like sometimes we have unrealistic expectations because like we see all these like rom-com movies and things like that where the guys are like doing these big things.
What big things? Yeah. So tell me
Okay.
what kind of stuff you actually see in man do, and what time what time frame in human history you be seeing like man do all these outlandish thing.
You're right, cause men is dog, but but okay. I'll say it, but then I know I'll also have to give a disclaimer because a big part of it is something that I don't like. So you would see like for Valentine's Day, and we're gonna talk about that because you've yet to ask me to be your Valentine, but we'll get there. But like you'll see in the movies for Valentine's Day, he does like this whole spread with flowers and balloons and things like that in a room. And yes, I don't like balloons. I'm afraid of balloons, so I would not want that. But I think it's like the thoughts and the effort that's been put into it that women appreciate and not necessarily looking for a replica of that thing. So if like your wife or your girlfriend or your partner or your whatever, like, I don't know, going hiking or something, like plan a hiking date for y'all. Like men won't get up and do that.
So my poem went romantic, Nigeria.
Yes, you
my
wrote me
Christmas
a poem.
that I slaved over
Oh
a
my
hot
gosh.
while at work.
See,
I am the government time, and I let me write this poem for my wife. So that they ain't romantic.
No.
Ain't romantic, Nigeria.
Yes, that was. I mean, not the whole you at work writing this shit. But yes, your poem was a very nice poem. And I told you that. So do it more.
Cool.
But yeah, I really feel like we need to start putting the man back in romance. Because I feel like a lot of days, the man didn't want the woman to be like romantic too. What romance you need as a man?
I guess therein lies the problem, because like to me, it's just like, we cool out, chill,
Be cool and chilling every day.
watch a nice, and that's like a nice consistent wave that of contentment,
But I don't want contentment. Sometimes I want excitement. I want surprise. Like, why are we doing the same thing every day, all year?
Okay, my bad. Can you give an example, right? Like, because I'd be asking you this, and I'm sure a lot of man them could relate, right? I am definitely willing to give out and issue like surprises. But I have also, and I know this goes against the nature of a surprise, but I have also asked you of like examples of what you might like. And 9,999 times out of 10,000, you're like, I don't know, because I don't want to do something that, despite it being like well thought out, is like in the area of something that you ain't really messing with.
And that's fair and that's okay. But we've been together for 5 years. You want to tell me 5 years in, you ain't know what your wife might like?
Adventurous things.
Okay. Like things I have talked about before. When we first moved here, I was like, ooh, hot air balloon. You should have write that down in your book. Take my wife on a hot air balloon date. For the past 10 years, I've been saying, you ain't asking me to be your Valentine? Still waiting. Every year is the same story. Every single year, like clockwork,
Dude,
same story.
Why do I need to ask you to be my Valentine? You are already my wife.
And what I have to do with the other?
We each other Valentines 24/7.
But I want to be your extra Valentine once a year.
You already that? So you want me the extra?
That's why I've been telling you.
Extra.
Yes, but okay, from your perspective, like you're
Why
like,
you gonna ask me to be your Valentine?
we here talking about putting a man back in romance, and you asking me, a woman,
See the crazy
to be like, Catherine, please. That's the problem. Men nowadays ain't want to be men. You want me to hold your hand and rub your foot too?
Hashtag soft life.
Who this soft life for me? Or you? Move your foot out my way. So okay, but I'm genuinely curious. Despite the fact that I've been sending you reels and TikToks about the very same thing, where women are like waiting for my husband to ask me to be his Valentine, or the man is like, I'm going to ask my wife to be my Valentine for the 10th year in a row or something like that. You ain't asked me to be your Valentine yet.
Maybe I'm waiting for the right opportune conditions to emerge or to be created.
Maybe you lying.
No, you know that. How you know that?
I don't.
All right then. So then there you go. Assuming. All right. Guess we're delving into all sorts of stereotypes
Asking
today.
all these questions.
Well, man is
Asking
that,
all these
woman jump into
questions.
conclusions
Asking
and all of that there.
questions, making statements. Assuming?
See the shit?
Where?
Yeah. Cause we ain't even there in February yet.
Oh, so February starting 2 hours from now.
Next week. This Saturday. Next week.
Okay, so you want me to wait till February?
Yeah.
So in February, come and you ask me to be a Valentine.
Yeah, in February. So it could be anywhere between the 1st to the 14th that I could ask you.
Why
I
would
could
you ask me
probably
on the
even ask you
14th?
after.
Why would you ask me on the 14th? You know we're gonna be busy.
Yeah, but it could be a part of some kind of event or
All right.
soiree.
Circle back to this video on the 14th for the update, because I'll put it in the comments whether or not he asked me to be his Valentine. And if he just be like, you want to be my Valentine, or he actually did it with a nice gesture. Because now I don't know, like, I feel like if I was a lesbian and I was dating a woman and I was like the man or the more like masculine person in the relationship, and I mean, even if we were both like feminine in this hypothetical lesbian relationship, I feel like we both would have been doing that for each other.
You don't know that?
I feel like women just have like this more like innate, like, I don't know, like emotional desire to be vocal with their love for another person.
So why you ain't do that there for me? And that ain't even how you to regularly get on to begin with.
Wait. What do you mean that ain't how it is?
The whole thing you just mentioned about like the vocal thing of like the I love you, or well, vocal, you said something just now about like women more emotionally expressive and more vocal with like their showing of love and whatnot. And one thing that I could very well always like recall from us being in this relationship is that kind of shit is not the type of stuff that you just typically do. You typically would more so do it like not with words of affirmation as you're here talking about with vocal, but it would definitely be in like acts of service. You know, so you have me in that second half, but that vocal stuff.
Well, when I say vocal, I don't mean it has to be like through voice. I just mean like it's more like expressive. That's what I mean when I say vocal. But yes, you know, act of service is my love language. So yes, that is indeed how I am more likely to show my love.
Okay.
Like when I pack your lunch every morning, pick out your work clothes every morning. That ain't expressive enough for him, I suppose. Yeah, sip.
You know, agency, you still ain't get the example yet, you know.
Oh, sorry, what
the man
was
them
it?
ain't forget, you know.
What was what were you
Like,
asking
what
me?
would be like an example of like a surprise or a thing that you would like really like?
I want a situation where you're like, okay, I want to do something for my wife. And you get up and you plan the entire thing and then you tell me just show. Like, take, for example, that one day when you broke my toe. Yes, he broke my toe.
Where you broke your own toe?
Where you broke my toe. But, like, you planned an entire day of things for us to do as a couple. And I didn't know what we were doing, but you were like, all right, you're going to need this. You might need a change of clothes. Like, that type of level of effort. Like, you're clearly capable of it. I just want to see that more often. And then you broke my toe, so we didn't even get to finish the day.
You broke your own toe?
And then you broke my toe. We did not get to finish the day. And then you haven't, like, planned that since.
Okay. So basically more customized, thoughtful efforts of different excursions of varying activities.
Yes, I want you wake me up one morning and be like, hop in the car, let's go. And then you take me and we go on a hot air balloon ride. I want you buy a plane ticket, take me somewhere, but like just take off XYZ dates. You ain't gonna tell me where we going. Just take off XYZ dates. I mean, you know I don't like surprises like that, so I'll harass you the entire time. But still, you know.
That's the next thing. That's the next thing.
It's
the instant she is even aware of some kind of surprise, the instant she even tries to sniff a surprise, she can't stop harassing me.
Okay, fair, yes. Like if I know there's a surprise, I want to know what it is. So don't let me know there's a surprise.
All right. Well, guys, she said she wanted the plane tickets and stuff. Just I'm gonna start the GoFundMe so that we can
You working for Style and Fashion?
can get this rolling.
You working for Style and Fashion?
Yeah, and shits and giggles.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
know. So
So I want to know, like, why is that something that men, and I mean, I guess you might be able only to speak for yourself, but like, why isn't that something that is more common with men? Like, y'all show y'all bros love. Oh, daps up. And I'm not like talking about you specifically now.
So if I give you some daps up, that gonna substitute for everything you just think. Hey, put her there. Mission accomplished.
It was just a freaking example. But like, I just feel like a lot more times you'll see men like buy a round of drinks for their bros, but then buying a woman a drink or something is a whole big issue. Oh, she's a gold digger and all of that shit. I'm not talking about you, no, specifically, because, you know, that doesn't apply to us. But like in general, I just feel like men have this whole thing about, honestly, just showing like kindness and love to women. Like, you call a simp if you do that shit. Like, men just call each other simp for doing that shit. Like,
Yeah, well, I can go ahead and speak for all the man them
All
because
right,
I
let me
believe
hear.
that I can. But first, I want to say that I believe that I am a gold digger because I found gold right here. You, my darling.
That shit is corny as hell.
See, you try to be vocal with your love and your expressions, and then this is the type of response that you to get.
Corny.
You see, she talking about, I feel like women are more emotionally expressive and vocal, and I just tried to hit you with a bar. A gold bar. And what she do with it?
Corny. But yeah.
While I recover. I definitely think that a large amount of it is, of course, a combination of the upbringing that is associated with a lack of emotional expression. But I think that attached to that, and what a lot of guys don't see, which is why I'm going to speak for all the men them, is that the prospect of it is scary, right? Like there's definitely a sense of security in finding out exactly what it is that you would like. And for me, even though like I know the adventure bit that you mentioned is absolutely like a thing that you would love and appreciate, there is definitely that persistent nagging feeling of like, man, what if I don't like, what if what I come up with isn't the kind of adventurous thing that she like really like. And because that emotional suppression isn't, it creates like a narrow feeling, you don't really have the confidence to just go ahead and do whatever without thinking about the outcome. Like it's a lot more like focused and extrinsic, I guess, in its motivation that like, yeah, this thing has to be the reward. She has to be satisfied as opposed to like enjoying the process, you know? So yeah, I genuinely think that that's something a lot of guys can relate to, because that's certainly how I feel. And I feel a little better saying that out loud, actually. Like feel a little more, you know, relaxed, because
Okay.
that is really how bros be feeling.
All right. So hypothetically, if you planned something and I wasn't satisfied, like, what do you think is going to happen?
You're gonna be like,
What shit is this?
yes, that's exactly how you're gonna be, and then I'm gonna just be like, I ain't never do this shit again. You see, now I'm gonna just actually, I'm gonna be like Santa. Write down your list of things that you want, and I'm gonna check it twice, and then I'm gonna just deliver.
But I just
You
feel
never
like
step out again.
if not so okay. I feel like if I have to do all of that, I might as well plan it myself.
Which is fair. Fair for you to plan it yourself, I mean. Not fair, you know, I'm just kidding.
You sick?
Or am I? No, man,
ain't
I'm just
planning
playing.
shit.
I'm just playing. I don't know. But, like, yeah, and the...
All the blood's about to pop in.
But this is a pretty good conversation, right? Because like it showcases like a pretty good thing to just talk about with your significant other, like talking about this very act of planning something and like talking with your feelings around it. And I think for you as the woman, I think it's very important that you create that space, because I think another thing as well is that while on one side the man them definitely would feel like scared and afraid to even like say that stuff or like want to get straight to like, yeah, just tell me what you want. There's definitely that like lecture like response from a lot of women, like, take initiative, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and it like adds a lot of like pressure to that unspoken like fear that guys would have, and it just caused them to like avoid the situation or like retreat into what they were going to do before. You know?
I guess that's fair. I feel like, I started the conversation talking about you, but I think it's also important to know your
like full of
partner.
shit.
You are full of shit. That's just the fact of the matter, you know? But I think it's important to know the person that you're with. So like I understand that you aren't likely to get up and do that thing of your own initiative. I have to say, this is something I want to do, and I want you to like do something about it, and then I could expect you to go and do something about it. Which like, so you're not gonna
Like a little
take
workhorse.
Yeah, my little slave.
You little what? That is insane. Continue though. Massa.
Kevin, please. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, so like while you're not going to like take that initiative on your own, if I like express something, I can count on you to go and do something about it, for the most part. And sometimes, like as women, I know a lot of women probably don't want to do that. You know, you expect the man to like just know what you want, know what you want to do, know what you like, figure that shit out. And that's fair. Like the less mental load as a woman that you have to like carry, the better. So I totally understand that perspective.
Thought you were going to criticize your fellow women for a second.
Why would I ever do that? Why would I ever do that? So I totally understand it, but I also say, and I don't say this often, but I'll say like give them a little grace. And you know how I feel about giving man grace. You shouldn't ever do that. But I'll say give your partner a little of grace, and communicate those feelings to them. And then if he wants to do something about it after, then jump his ass.
Them up. Oh.
But I mean,
even worse.
abusing them works too. Jump and abuse. Sometimes I just abuse you.
So I want to know where the sometimes are coming.
But because you asked like I just abuse you, so I give you an answer like I just abuse you.
Oh, okay.
I just abuse you.
Apparently.
You are the one who asked if abusing you does what?
Apparently. Well, actually, yeah, you're right. Every day. Every day you'd abuse me.
Elaborate.
And every day we still here.
How I just abuse you?
I won't be elaborating. Yes.
Nigeria. You full of shit. But anyways, yeah. So I think it kind of like circles back to that idea of like compatibility in general, where
Yeah. Facts.
I was like, wait, what?
So I guess
I don't know,
compatibility, like in the fact that like you both have like the degree by which you are both on the same page on a series of things, so that there is less work or effort involved in upholding certain expectations because they might come more naturally.
Kinda, but also like if it doesn't come naturally, but I express something to you, compatibility in the sense that you're like, oh, I want to make this person happy, so I'm going to do X, Y, Z, as opposed to
It sounds like more like adjustment in some word, some
Maybe.
noun or other word for adjustment, because
compromise. I don't know.
like because it involves like movement, right? If you like compatible, then there ain't really
Kinda
like no
fits.
movement. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
fits. So like what you talking about is like movement. So like your adaptability.
Yeah.
Yes, words. Like we can get degrees, man.
For style and fashion.
Yeah, So yeah, I think like having that adaptability is important.
Yeah. So agreed. But I am curious. I mean, I firmly stand on it for the most part, standing on business, 10 toes down and all of that hoopla. But I mentioned putting the man back in romance. Do you think romance is just like a one-sided thing? Like what would romance be for a man anyways?
Nigeria, that is an excellent question because
I'm chock full of them.
yeah, I actually do not even know how to define romance apart from love. Like, I don't know how to actually, like, if somebody would come up to me, gun to my head, define romance.
Color casket you want.
Yeah, it done. Because I really don't know. And that's one of the questions a lot of guys might have to ask and figure out, like, what that really looks like. Like, because yeah, I think it goes back again to the upbringing, where a lot of those emotional expressions, or just any levels of emotionality in proactively engage in it, that shit is foreign. And so, like, when you talking about navigating or facilitating specific showings or expressions of love toward your significant other, which is probably what defines romance, now that I kind of
Probably.
think about it. Oh, so you don't even know?
Well,
You
I
just
was
as full of shit.
no, I was gonna, as you were like saying that, I would have defined it as like gestures of love to your partner. I think that would be like the simplest way I could think about it.
Gestures of love.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like, when I referred to you as a gold that I dug, that was a gesture
That was
of
not
love.
romantic.
To you.
That was corny as hell. It's supposed to be romantic to me. It's me you telling it too. I was like,
Right.
what do you mean? Ooh, and then maybe that means romance is subjective.
Yes. Yes.
I
Absolutely.
never thought of that. Yeah, so that shit wasn't romantic. 0 out of 10.
Wow.
You fail.
Wow.
Shit was corny as hell, boy.
That's insane. But bringing it back to the guys, them.
The
You know,
man
it's a very foreign, like, concept, to the point where I guess the first real test of expressing that would be when you're in a serious relationship. So it's like, whereas if we both fly in a plane, you went to aviation school, and you were able to, like, go through the whole process and learn how to, take off, press all the buttons, and just navigate. We just wake up one day, we there in the plane. We thought we were just a passenger just sleeping and stuff. And then man like, hey, we need somebody to fly the plane. Yo, get up, get in there. And we there in there, and we just like deer in headlights. And then that's where the whole thing come, like, tell me what to do. You could follow the instructions, like,
But wait.
pull the throttle, pull the engine.
But what year went to aviation school too?
We didn't have access to the aviation school.
Why?
Because when we were in line and we were looking at the line, mommy and daddy said, boys don't cry, man don't cry, or any of this stuff. So when we were there in the line, the man was like, get your ass over to the tetherball, the playground, or some
tetherball.
Like, yeah, like some physical sport like thing, where like we didn't have the opportunity to go to the aviation school to actually not only learn the process but be comfortable in living in that process. And so it's literally like steps are naturally skipped. And the more afraid you are of doing something, the more exacting you might want to be led in a particular thing. Okay. Even when you might know how it like is supposed to go, because you don't have that comfort in customizing and navigating, because you're still in that it's either the right way or the wrong way, as opposed to different ways of being correct or accurate or effective. You just locked into this false dichotomy.
So what you're saying is that
I'm spitting, that's what I'm saying.
Well, so what you're saying is men ain't romantic because mommy and daddy say they can't cry?
Yes. Since you want to take it literally. Yes. When my mother told me not to cry, it effectively shut off the floodgates of the emotional well. And so it simply got stuck in the dam, and I wasn't able to open the gates again until adulthood. But by the time it reached to adulthood, the gates were so filled up that when I opened the hatch, that shit just all over me. And it's only now that I began to kind of regain my footing. But the experience was so traumatic.
Oh my gosh.
Even though I can open it, I'm afraid that it'll happen again.
I'm afraid I might leap over there.
That's crazy.
Because you full of shit. How about they take a hammer and break down that dam?
And why would you do that? Because you're gonna render
Get
the
the
dam.
process going.
You're gonna render the dam not functional. You is a mechanic.
Yeah.
You is a mechanic is what you is. All right. So
Oh, to order.
yeah, like the dam. After you're done with it.
But no, like, I'm really stuck on the fact that, like, I don't even know what romance would be for men. You don't even know what romance would be for men.
Yeah, I absolutely don't.
I wonder if, like, if we were to survey a bunch of men and be like, what would be romantic for you? Versus surveying women, like, what would be romantic for you? I feel like if you ask a woman, it'll be like some sort of
Disney.
grand gesture. Disney?
Yeah, it'd be something off of Disney. That's
the
what
hell?
that's what I would think. Like
Oh, like something they did on a Disney movie or something?
Yeah.
Nah,
Rapunzel and
Disney
everything.
movies are very problematic, but we will not get into that because why you kissing Sleeping Beauty while she's unconscious? Please, consent. Consent, please. But I digress. But I feel like if you ask a woman, like, what's romance to you? She'll tell you, like, some sort of gestures, some, like, showing of love. And I feel like if you were to ask men, it would always be something sexual.
Yeah, I would agree.
So that's what you think about when you think about romance?
I would agree with that analysis. That is what a lot of men might tend to think.
Are you a lot of men?
No, I am Khef Saki to be exact. Social Security, no man.
I was like, wait, hold on, what is happening?
Yeah, but yeah, I currently don't have like an example of what that might look like.
That's your homework.
Outside of what you have provided to me, because like you be doing your big ones, when special days come and you set up like the table and we get it food and all that stuff. It's like this is cool. Sometimes it'll feel a little uncomfortable or like weird actually. Now that I think this, and I guess this would be the first time I'm saying this with your face, but like it's not like a bad uncomfortable way. It's like oh man, is she really doing like these gestures that feel a little like extroverted, like extroverted probably in the word, but like just like out of like the comfort zone, but like it's a little cool.
You don't know how to accept love?
Yeah, probably not, because I ain't went to the aviation school to.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
You better get it together if you want to fly this jet with me.
Give me a crash course, man.
Yeah. But so we've covered a wide array.
Yeah. Some covered niggas ain't shit.
Always. That's the gospel, first of all. We've talked about why men don't seem as romantic as women would ideally like, or we hypothesized on it. So maybe something actionable before we wrap. Like, how can men begin to build these skills of closing that gap between where their partner might like them to be versus where they're at? That'd be really important. And then I guess for women, I suppose we can give them a little grace on sharing what we would like to see from them. And a smidgen of patience while they figure that shit out.
Insane. But I actually have, like, for the guys, The assignment could be with just like this, with asking your significant other like a specific question that comes after an acknowledgement of your deficit, right? That I acknowledge that I'm not as in touch with your ideas of what romanticism looks like. Can you share with me some ways that I can be more romantic?
Okay.
Something of that sort.
Cool. And I guess to be fair, for a man to get to that point or be aware of his deficit, we would have to communicate that to them. So, ladies, if you are unhappy with how romantic or the lack of romance in your relationship, I'll say express it kindly, gently to your partner, and then give him the opportunity to right his wrongs. Yeah.
To be more accurate and explore. All right? We just talked about that right and wrong, dualistic, dichotomous, either or, hitting our words kind of thinking.
Grab your dictionary, please.
You know? So, but yeah, and I really would encourage the guys to ask their significant others that question, because even with this conversation, like it helped to like affirm, like, dude, you could just roll out some adventurous things. Like it's less about the event and more about the process and the level of effort that you put in that exceeds what you would normally do. Like I think like that's like the key measurement, the distance between what you would normally do and what you have done for this particular session. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically if we go karaoke and I sing she a song, that's gonna be exceptionally romantic.
No.
Oh.
No. I mean, it might be cute, but how bad is the singing is the real question.
Wow. All right. Well, guys, I guess we back to square one, Miss Sun. No, man, we ain't back to square one for the podcast. But we gonna have an offline apparently about
We'll take a
my
sidebar.
singing, my singing and things like that. I mean, I don't even know if I could sing that well, but we'll see.
I ain't trying to find out in public, but yes, thank you so much for tuning in. The recipe for a healthy relationship is not a secret, but if you stick with us, we'll give you the tips, the tools, the tricks that you need to have a happier, healthier relationship. Until next time.
Peace.